You're going to have to excuse the mess. We've been in the middle of, have you ever said that as the first words out of your mouth when somebody comes to visit you and you open the door and you say, oh, you're going to have to excuse the mess. There's stuff all over the floor. I've been working late. I haven't had a chance. We're not going to do that anymore, okay? Starting today, no more. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, the question came in, why do people feel uncomfortable in my home? All right, the answer is because you made them feel that way when they arrived. So starting today, we are going to remove the words, oh, you're going to have to excuse the mess. From now on, starting today, that is never going to come out of your mouth again, all right? Whether you're the homeowner, whether you're the house cleaner, it doesn't matter. If you have a home, it is your home, and we're going to take pride in it starting today. All right, so how this works is this. I learned this from a realtor friend of mine. The realtor hosts what they call open houses, and it's for guests or buyers or whatever to come through a home that is on the market that they're going to sell. And so it is her job to paint a picture of comfort. So if she were to open the door and say, oh, you're going to have to excuse the mess, the people that live here didn't have a chance to clean up before you came today, immediately these people are going to go, well, yeah, they didn't, right? It's kind of a mess. Oh, you're going to have to excuse the mess. The daughter moved some furniture and it scrubbed up the hardwood floor and they're going to have it refinished. But ignore that. It's a nice house. Already these people are looking for things that are wrong, okay? So what happens is her job is to paint a picture of, hey, this is an awesome house and you should live here. So what happens is she goes out of her way to make sure that the house smells like hot cinnamon rolls. Whether that is essential oil or it's a candle or it's actually hot cinnamon rolls, she goes out of her way to create that smell. So that the very first thing they smell when they open the door is like, wow, somebody's doing some baking and that smells good, right? That is her very first welcome to the home. Then they see her and she's like, hey, come on in. And they're like, well, okay. I mean, it's an open house. That's why we're here. And then she says, check it out. You're going to love this house. There was just a couple here a few minutes ago, and the woman was telling me that this room in here would make a perfect music room. I don't know. What do you think? And the people hurry in and they take a look around and they say, well, yeah, actually, I can see a baby grand piano right there. That would be a really great place for that. Overlooking the harbor here with the boats outside. That would be beautiful. Yeah, I totally can imagine a piano being there. And then the husband jumps in and he says, well, actually, this would make a really good office. And I can just imagine the big sea bass on the wall. And I'd hang up my poles over there. And I'd put my golf clubs over there. And he starts getting involved in the house, right? She didn't say, oh no, shame on the house. These things have all fallen apart and, the dog chewed up the furniture. She didn't say that. What she said was, hey, come check this out. It was a different invite into the home. Now, the reason I bring this up is because the words we use and the way we use them paints a picture that not only makes our guests feel comfortable, but it makes the way we feel about our own home change. The reason I say this is because, especially around the holidays, there are a lot of people who will scramble to clean their house. They have a house cleaner come over and they clean their house and they work for days and they tidy up and they make sure the house looks perfect. And then the family or the relatives or the guests come over and they open the door and the first thing they say is, oh, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to clean up the house. I mean, the holidays have been so crazy and all of a sudden the guests are like a little bit uncomfortable, like, and they don't know how to respond. And they start looking for things that are wrong with the house. The truth is this, there's something wrong with everyone's house. No one's house is perfect. There are little bits of this and that have fallen in people's houses, or there are little dings in the floor, or maybe there's, poof that's come out of a pillow or something like that. Things are just not 100% perfect, always. Nobody's house looks like a Pinterest board, real people. But instead of highlighting that fact, instead of making people uncomfortable, the best thing you can do is make them feel at home by taking ownership of whatever's there. So what I want us to do is this, and I've really paid a lot of attention to this. This comes from a book that I read almost 20 years ago. It's a book called Power Talking, and it is actually not available anymore. It's out of print. If you're lucky enough, you might be able to find a copy of it on eBay, but it is 50 ways to say what you mean and get what you want. And it's a whole book on removing phrases from our life that are debilitating to us. It is the reframing of those conversations so you end up inviting people into your home and they have the best time they've ever had. This is one of those cases where we are going to absolutely remove from our vocabulary all of the negative feelings that surround our own insecurities when we have guests come over and we've just been scrambling to try to make the house perfect for them. Okay, so if you're one of these people, I know I am, I don't know why. If my family comes over, I scramble for days to make sure the house is perfect, right? So when people come over, you open the door, and I've trained myself to do this. I want to train you as well. Open the door and say nothing. Just say nothing. Just open the door and give a great big sweeping motion like, come on in, right? And the people are like, whoa. And then they get inside and now you have a chance to collect your thoughts. And you say, hey, I have a perfect coat rack that has been waiting for your coat. Can I take your coat from you? And then they say, well, sure. And they take off their coat and you hang it up. And you say, can I get you a cup of tea? Come on in. Let's go get you a cup of tea. And they're like, okay. And without apologizing about your house or your space or how busy you've been or all these negative things that start the conversation off on a negative complaining bend, which then that's where it goes, right? If you open the door and you start by apologizing and then you say it's been crazy and hectic and we haven't had a chance to do this, that, and the other, guess where the next 45 minutes goes? It goes to nitpicking and complaining and them trying to fit in. They try to fit in by complaining with you. Oh, I know, the holidays, it's been so hectic, it's been so chaotic, it's been And suddenly you've gone down this really dark path. But if you start out by just welcoming them in, almost like the realtor, like, I know I'm going to sell this house. People are so thrown back by that they're like, whoa, yeah, I want the cinnamon rolls. Yeah, I want the house. Yeah, I want the piano room. Yeah, I want all this stuff. They want to participate because they feel at home. So I want you to reframe the words that you use. And I want you to reframe the vision that you create about your space. Because not only do you change it for other people, but you change it for yourself. And you get to live there even after the guests go home. So I want you to remove from your vocabulary, starting today, the words, oh, you're going to have to excuse the mess. There's no mess. There's no mess. This is the way you live. Welcome to my home. All right, I hope this helps a little bit. If it does, please pass this on to a friend. If we've earned your subscription, please subscribe. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.